This is an automatic buttonhole foot, and it does make it easier to sew your buttonholes. This adjustable bit at the back is where you put your button in and you close that up. So when you go to sew, your buttonholes are consistent and you know that your little button is going to go through them comfortably. I've placed the button in the section at the back. I'll just make sure I put that in before I attach the foot to the machine. Just makes it a little bit easier. Slide that in. I want to put my claws here over that little bar at the front. Just lower my foot, click it in and lift it up again. Just make sure that my threads are out to the side. Always do a test run on your buttonhole before you actually do it on your garment. And it's always a good idea to do a test run on the fabric that you're going to use or that you're going to sew your actual buttonholes on. I have put a mark on my fabric here, which is where I'm going to start my buttonhole. With this automatic buttonholer, the rest is done by the machine. All I have to make sure is that I'm sewing it straight and along the grain there. As I'm putting my fabric in, I want to make sure that that dot is lined up with this line here. And I always like to just lower my needle to make sure that it sits nicely on it. I just put it a little to the left of the butt of the hole, because I know that that mark is going to be the center of my buttonhole. Make sure that your threads are pulled out to the side, because you don't want the threads caught up in the buttonhole as you're sewing it. So just grab those. Before you start sewing, make sure you have this little lever down here lowered, and make sure it sits in between these two guides. There's one there and then just another one there at the back, and that tells the buttonhole foot when to stop, turn around and do the second steps. I currently have the machine set to straight stitch, and I want to go over here to my buttonhole stitches. Because I'm using the automatic buttonhole maker, I want to press beyond the censored one. So BH1 censor. So I'm just going to press that once. See, it comes up with censor on the screen. This is the one that I want to use. If I had a manual foot, I'd press that again and it'd go to automatic. So we're just going to press that back to censor, and this is the setting I'm going to use for my automatic foot. Now I have my foot in the correct place. Just make sure that that's pushed up against the front there, and I've got the correct settings on my sewing machine. I'm just going to press the foot pedal and off we go. The machine automatically knots that at the end. I've got a nice neat buttonhole. You can see with that buttonhole that where I put that marker, it sews on either side of it. So it's a good indicator that that is the center of your buttonhole where you will cut down. The machine will remember the first buttonhole that you've done. So when you come to do your second one, your machine is just asking you to press the buttonhole key again. And you will see that it's all ready to go with step one. Now I've done my buttonholes and I'm just going to cut this. Sometimes people like to put a little pin in the end here. just to stop them going right through to the end, so they don't cut through the end of the buttonhole. So you can do that, and then you just cut along here with your quick unpick. If of course you don't want to use that, you can just start from one end and then you can flip it around and start from the other. To make sure that that fits well, put your button through. It's a good little fit. So your test is done, and now you're ready to do it on the real thing.